Warning, this is a random episode. Some hypothetical topics asked and or discussed may not be suitable for all listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Get out of here.
And even myself, I have to I limit what I put on the show. There's even something that I looked at and I said, not even that one.
Yeah.
This goes out to an audience, so it's
Yeah, no, you could have gotten a lot more raunchier, and I wouldn't have even blinked. It wouldn't have even phased me.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I want this out.
Yeah. Hack the brain.
I don't need to. This opportunity doesn't come around a lot with people who can actually rock with these.
Exactly.
Okay, I got one right now that's pretty bad.
Okay.
Would you rather have a 8-man run on you or be the middleman in a human...
Oh, God. All right, that is a tough one.
Cute dogs, by the way.
Thank you. So that means I have to eat, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 1000 Crazy Questions, the podcast. I'm your currently sane host, Houston Pierce. This is a podcast where we have on at least one guest a week and ask them a series of crazy would you rather questions. We get into the psyche of our guests, explore topics and questions that maybe should not have been explored.
Okay, let's get into the episode this week. This week we have with us writer, author, film director, video producer, and 20-year porn industry veteran, the controversially humble Vic Lagina?
Vagina rhymes with vagina.
Vic Lagina, I'm so sorry, yeah. How do you, Vic, for the people who don't know you, or don't know if they know you, if you want to explain yourself, what you do for fun professionally?
Yeah, well, for 20 years, I was a producer and a director in the adult entertainment industry. For about 16 of those years, it was for a little company website called Brazzers. Perhaps you've heard of it. And I had a front row seat to the company that would take over the entire porn industry. And I worked with them, and I was very busy for them, producing and directing and shooting. I was running camera for a long time until they discarded me like a used baby wipe at the beginning of the pandemic. And that's when it all ended. So once it was all over, I was ready to be done, but I had all these stories, and I felt that if I didn't share them with the world, it would be a bit of a disservice. So I wrote my book, which was released a little over a year ago, and I've just been doing the promo tour ever since.
Yeah, no, your story, man, and your profile is absolutely crazy to me. To say this on air, just reading it was I can't believe what you went, not what you went through, what you did, how you view it, and to come out of it in this way. It's kind of like, do you remember, maybe it was 20-some years ago, but there was this musician who would rip apart other musicians' tricks, and everyone hated the guy, and he came out like a black mask.
Yes.
And he was some kind of musician pariah, whatever. He's great show, but musicians hated him. It feels like that, but with porn, because I don't know what you've said about the industry and what it's kind of like, how much heat are you catching for ripping, for pulling the rug under people or whatever?
Well, it depends. The good thing is there's not a lot of people in porn who read. So I don't really know how much they've actually heard about the book, other than he's an asshole and he talks a lot of shit. I don't really think I talk a lot of shit. I mean, the amount of shit I talk is about my former employer because, to be honest, they were scumbags, especially the third ownership. I made it through 3 ownerships, and the third one, which was MindGeek, now they're in a 4th ownership called ALO. But MindGeek were really terrible people, and I felt like I really needed to shine a light on it. But when it came to performers, yeah, there's a lot of generalities, and I do talk about how my experiences with certain ones, but I didn't think I threw anyone under the bus unfairly. If I did, they had it coming. So I think in a lot of ways, it's perhaps I'm maybe thinking that I'm putting the gravity of being a pariah on myself, whereas the reality is that most people in porn, again, don't really read, but they're so consumed with themselves to pay attention to my book or what I have to say.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. I mean, man, How is it? I know you've been going on, your circuit and promoting your book, but I'm sure you get this question a lot. Like, how did you get into this? I'm sure you get that question every time, but how did it happen?
So my background is in production. I actually have 6 years of higher education in film production, which is 6 years too many. I mean, you don't need that, but I went and got a master's degree at University of Miami. And growing up, I loved movies, TV shows, video games. And when it came time to be when I went to undergrad at Syracuse, I went in undecided, but they had a really good communication school. So I worked my way into it. So that's really why I got into it, or at least how it started. But it was a series of bad decisions and wrong turns, which is what leads everyone into the porn industry. A lot of mine was birthed in financial debt, credit card debt, because I wound up going to Los Angeles from South Florida, and it was a typical crash and burn story in LA. I shacked up with the wrong girl, and I funded our dreams on my credit cards, and I thought I was going to kick Hollywood's ass, but that really doesn't happen. Hollywood always kicks your ass. And so once it became too much, we limped back to South Florida, but the porn snowball had already started. The first shoot I ever did was in April of 2002, where I answered an ad on adultstaffing.com with this Mexican kid who had a speech impediment who wanted help shooting his porn movie. And I had never shot porn, but I bullshitted him. And that was the first day. And it was a pretty seedy day, I would say. But that was, I guess, what started me wanting to run it like a business, because I didn't feel that because we're in porn, we have to be degenerates and we have to be sleazy. We could do this in a way that is somewhat respectable. So that's how it all started. And then I'd say around 2004, I met the guys who would become Brazzers. And once the relationship ended and I had this booming business and my debt was gone, they said, look, if you can get to the West Coast again and tap into the professional porn stars in LA, we'll keep you very busy. And I didn't want to live in LA again because it just had a lot of bad memories and you really can't get ahead in Los Angeles. So I set up shop in Vegas and I brought LA to me, and it was a very busy 14 years in Las Vegas, where until COVID hit, or unless there was a shutdown because of HIV or whatever, we were working a lot. And I was running this insanity, and I was quite good at it, to be honest. So I figured if the money's there, just put your head down and keep working. But it took a toll. It really did.
Yeah, man. Thank you for explaining that. I know that was a good breakdown of what exactly went down what road. And I can understand, business is business, and if you're good, you're good. As someone who hasn't been, doesn't have that experience, I'm going to different things. I've actually more or less am shifting to my industry. I was in engineering, and now I'm doing this. So I can't even relate, but I respect it. And I know you come back, you run a book and everything, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I was always a creative person, and production was always natural to me, but I was just really good at controlling the chaos, which is porn and shooting porn. Like, if you know anything about production, it's already crazy. There's a lot to manage. A lot of things can go wrong, but throw sex on top of it, and it's basically throwing gasoline on a fire. And whatever reason, I was able to just wrangle and control that chaos. I called myself a professional plate spinner, where I had plates going all the time, and no matter how crazy it got, I was able to keep my cool and get the job done so that not only I got paid, but everyone around me got paid. And, I was rewarded with a lot of work by the company. And it was good for a while. Like the original dudes, they were great. They took care of me. They had respect for me. The second ownership, that was more expansion, buying up companies, becoming essentially the porn monopoly. And once that dude unfortunately got arrested for tax evasion, then third ownership came in, and they slowly sucked all of the joy from the job. And I'd say I was burning the candle at both ends, because there's a certain point, and you can understand this, there's a darkness about the industry. And it affected me. And I was doing a lot of things to cope, drugs, alcohol. And that is only sustainable for a certain period of time. So I thank COVID for happening. I know it was shitty for a lot of people, but to be honest with you, it might have very well saved my life, because if I had kept going in it, who knows if I would have gotten a bad batch of drugs and fentanyl, and that would have been it. So I was grateful that it happened. And, I made some moves financially where when it was all over, I would have a plan, and that plan was enacted. And once it was all over, then I was able to do things where no longer I had to worry about money. I had enough. And I think the secret to life is have a small overhead. And that was the goal. And once I got to the finish line, it was really just a matter of keeping my needs small.
That's good business advice and life advice at the same time.
Yeah.
There are 2 rules to this game/conversation. Rule number 1, you must always answer the question no matter what. If you honestly have no preference towards one or the other, you say the phrase, flip a coin, and we move on. Rule number 2, whoever asks the question doesn't have to answer it if they choose not to. These rules exist because as questions become harder to answer, these rules become harder to follow.
To get into the nitty gritty of it, people, real quick, obviously this is a Red Bin episode, so it's not the most family friendly. There may be some swearing. The topics discussed will not be family friendly. I can say that. I know for sure. This may be my dirtiest episode. I don't know. And just want to say before we begin, Vic, if you have any questions for me, we go back and forth this conversation, never interrupting if you throw a question back at me. Quick important disclaimer to listeners, everything's hypothetical. I say it every week, but every week it's true. If you're offended, sorry, you can at me. I may or may not respond depending on how I feel. You chose to listen to this. And lastly, before we begin, Vic, is there anything you'd like to ask or declare? Are there any inherent judgmental biases you may have?
Not really. I appreciate you getting filthy with me, though. This is good. I'm glad that I'm soiling your podcast a little bit. That's kind of cool. So
it's not you're soiling it, but maybe we're reaching a new depth, maybe, I'd say.
Yeah. No, it's good. You have to realize something, that I was in it for so long, and I've been out of it for quite a bit, but the amount of things that I normalized is quite baffling. The things I saw on a daily basis, like that was my normal. So now looking back at it, being so far removed, I realized how crazy it was. And to be honest with you, that's why I wrote the book, and that's why I wanted to share it with the world, because I think a lot of people, there's a lot of porn stars that have written books, but I think they're kind of one-dimensional vanity projects. I don't really see a lot of depth. And I think just by talking to me and hearing me talk, you can understand I'm a thinker, and I decided to reveal something and spend a lot of time on something such as this book so people can really know what it felt like to walk in my shoes, but it's done in a way where it's quite unique and it's well put together. And I think it's something that most people wouldn't expect from a pornographer.
Yeah, well put. Yeah, and I haven't read the book yet, but it sounds hella interesting, honestly. It's crazy.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you like reading, the book is well put together. I made sure of it, that the physical book was well put together. But if you like audiobooks, I suggest the audiobook, because I had never listened to an audiobook before, but I wanted mine to be unique, and it certainly is that. Some people have called it like it's almost like an acid trip. But if people are driving or traveling, the audiobook is for them, and it goes down much quicker in the audiobook form.
Not to derail, who reads the audiobook? Is it
me?
You?
It's
you
me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that was a process. So 40 days I recorded it. And 37 of those days, when I'm doing the straight read, I was completely sober. No booze, no weed for those 37 days. And I was sometimes waking up at 2:00 in the morning to record this thing, because I was doing it in the summer in Vegas, and it gets hot out here. So I would wake up and I would have this, even though my brain wasn't working, I would have this gravelly grittiness to my voice that I really liked. But then, in the book, my alter ego pops up and chimes in a lot. So once all the straight read was done, that was when I broke my sobriety to read his lines. And there was 3 different kinds of reads. There was the weed wine read, which is kind of chill and mellow. And then there was the cocaine read, which is like high energy manic. And then, I was sitting there on a Sunday and I'm like, do I have an acid read in me? And I was like, well, you need to do the acid read. So I popped a tab of acid at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I literally went into my walk-in closet, which was my recording booth. And I'll tell you, man, like an hour in, those words were just going all over the page. But yeah, that was a unique one. But the thing is, I think I needed those because there was certain mindsets of my life at the time, and being under the influence of any of those drugs made it a little more sensical, if that makes sense to you. And on top of it all, I use a lot of audio from the things I'm describing. So it's a little more interactive in that sense. So it's on Spotify. I tell people, get the audiobook if that's your thing, because you won't be disappointed by it. Assuming you want to know about porn, and that's the big hurdle,
It sounds fascinating, honestly. But it sounds very fascinating. I don't have what's called an affinity towards learning about porn, but given our conversation right now, I do. I'm very fascinated. And an author reading their own book, what needs to be emphasized, how to say, how something's supposed to come across. No,
Yeah.
actually, super. Yeah, I have homework, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's good. And plus, everyone's on a commute. It's broken up into little modules that you can talk about. And the thing is like with this book, I understand my life was a shit show for a while, especially when it came to my romantic life, because it's very hard to have a relationship while you're in the porn industry. But my feeling was I wasn't sure, even though my existence was completely bizarre, would it sustain a viewer? Or a listener or a reader. So what I wound up doing was just writing a bunch of side topics about the industry in general. So there's 9 lessons of Vic Lagina's School of Porn. And we talk about prepping for anal. Is it squirt? Is it pee? Hygiene, which is one topic I am highly, highly passionate about. And then there's like the sobering moments, which is the people who died that I knew in the industry. So you realize that it is a dark industry and you understand the pain that people were in. So it's not just, about porn and this and that. I mean, there's such a deep human element to it, and it's brutally honest. And I am most honest when it comes to myself.
Man, damn, that was a lot. And I'm glad you're being honest. I know you'll continue to be honest as we get into these questions. And let's get into it. Question number 1. Would you rather have hamburger or hot dog? Simple. Hamburger. Or hot dog. Hamburger guy?
Yeah, hot dogs are made of like lips and assholes. What's that movie from? It's I think it's The Great Outdoors. It's a line from The Great Outdoors. Yeah.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question. Nothing more. That's true. Would you rather be the worst at sex and everyone knows it, or be the best at sex but you can only have it every 5 years?
Well, you're talking to a dude that had plenty of it over a long period of time. So knowing that, I will rather be the best at it every 5 years.
Really? Okay.
Dude, I've had enough sex for like 5 lifetimes, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
When I had this, at first it was 10, and I was like, let me shorten this a bit. I made it 5 because I was like, 10's a bit extreme. But you're saying if it was 10 years, you'd still pick it every 10 years?
I think so. I mean, I'm 51 years old, and I'm not really having that crazy drive that I used to. So, I mean, if you were to ask me this, 15 years ago, I probably would have said, all right, everyone can talk about how bad of a lay I am. I don't care. But now it's a little bit different.
Okay. It's all behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Speaking of being behind you, would you rather have to bury your father alive? I don't know if your father's dead or alive, but let's say that he isn't. You're burying him alive, or run over your mom with an SUV. And I don't know if she's alive again, but she's in here.
Well, okay, that's a tough one. Okay, so my mother's no longer with me. My father still is. My father still is, but he's 81 and his body is falling apart. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Are we talking if my mom was miraculously alive?
Yeah, we have to imagine just when she was alive, you're going to do this. This will unalive her, pretty much.
Oh, geez. Sorry, Dad. I think I'm going to have to bury you alive.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Is it because he's still alive that makes it easier?
I think
Sorry to do this.
seeing how his body is breaking down, he might even thank me for it. I mean, I look at what he's going through now, and I'm like, man, I got to do shit differently so I don't end up like that. Because you watch it, you're like, fuck, getting old sucks.
Yeah, got it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to your dad.
Yeah.
To stay on this theme of just unconventionalness, would you rather this is bad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Would you rather be on the top floor of the World Trade Center in 2002 when stuff happened, or be a lower class passenger on the Titanic?
Oh fuck.
All
Okay.
in
So
the court.
so you're really you're debating, do you want a freezing cold death of hypothermia or burning up alive or jumping off the World Trade Center?
Yeah, you're like on the top floors where it's just nothing that could really be done. Like it's like an inevitable. I don't know how long it took for the towers to fall, but there was a good.
Yeah, a fiery death sounds terrible. I mean, they both sound terrible, but the Titanic for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, do you have anyone who was involved in that, by the way?
No, I didn't. I mean, I knew people who were in New York, but they weren't part of the whole thing. You just hear the stories, and it sounds so awful. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know why I put that in. I was just like, oh, we're doing unconventional stuff.
It's pretty morbid, but hey, look, this is why we're here, right?
What is the time? When is the time to even make that? Not even a joke, but even that subject matter. But I
Right.
guess. Oh well, there's no time. Would you rather be unaffected by any drugs known to man, or anyone you kiss will become permanently obsessed with you?
I've done a lot of drugs in my day, so I don't really have to worry about it. I think the kissing thing.
Okay.
I would do. I would do that.
Okay. What would you do with it? Was it just
Well, I mean,
normal?
I'm in a relationship now, so I'll just kiss her, and she's always with me, and I'm very much in love with her, and I want to be with her for the rest of my days. So that is easy one.
Okay. That's a good follow-up to this other one. This is just an open-ended question, but do you believe in unconditional love? Is that a thing to you?
Certainly, I believe it. I mean, I see it all the time with my dogs. They have unconditional love, but I do believe that you can have it with humans, and I've experienced it. Absolutely.
What would you say was the biggest sort of hurdle when you were in the porn industry towards finding that love? Or I don't know if you found your wife or your partner, I don't know. Did you find her during that time or shortly afterwards?
I met her during that time. But the hard thing is that early on, and this is why I made a few missteps along the way choosing my partners, was that I tried to date civilians, is what we called them, people who weren't in the porn industry. And they kind of viewed me as a novelty, where they were very curious about things, but they wouldn't be able to date me because they wouldn't be able to handle it. And I understood it, because what woman with a good head on her shoulders could put up with that nonsense of me seeing people have sex all the time, and a lot of these strumpets really just throwing themselves at you for a variety of reasons. So I get it. So that was the trouble. But what I had to learn was just be comfortable being alone, instead of, if you're lonely, making concessions in your partner.
Making concessions as in like you're making concessions for them?
No, you're choosing poorly in the partner that you're with. You're looking past insecurities, mental issues, whatever else.
Oh.
And I mean, and I get it. Even another relationship, which I've been in a lot of dysfunctional relationships, but one that happened after my engagement to probably the world's worst human. I got into another relationship about a year later, and she was in porn, but then stopped shooting, and she was a stripper. And I thought, okay, if we're going to give it a try, maybe this one will work. And compared to the other ones, she was nowhere near as bad, but we were definitely toxic to one another. And she became insecure even 8 months in. So that was just kind of the whole process of when you're in a relationship. After that one ended, I went to another one. This was with a Dutch girl. We were in an open relationship where I was doing what I wanted, Yeah.
Sure.
But that was kind of short lived for a variety of reasons. And then after that, I was not in any kind of relationship until the one I just got in, which I have known her for 7 years, but we decided to get together in May of last year. So we're coming up on the 1 year of being monogamous and totally with one another. And she lives with me too.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Was she like she's in the same mind as like kind of like, yeah, let's do this. I mean, what was the thing that made her go to overlook sort of the past, or is that she just knew you that kind of made things easier?
Well, the difference is that I'm no longer in it, and I
Okay.
think that's a big part of it. And we had, hooked up a bunch in like 2016, 2017. And then she left the industry. And then from there, we started hanging out again right when like 2019, early 2020. I remember we hung out the New Year's 2020. 2020 is going to be the greatest year ever. And then of course everything happened with COVID, but we wound up hanging out for like the first 12 days together during lockdown. And eventually she had to leave and we stayed in touch. But I told her that I'm a better person now. I'm the best version of myself now. Whereas I don't think I would have been, or this would have worked out had it happened during COVID. So if you're a believer that things happen for a reason, or you have to kind of walk a path and then your timing has to sync up, it finally did for us.
That's good. I don't know if nothing like that has happened to me yet, but it all seems very. I think a friend of mine one time was saying, "Have you ever had that moment where the girl standing right there, and not to generalize, the person you're interested, the sex you're interested, whatever, standing right there, and it's just that time of day, and you walk up to them and things are perfect." And I looked at him and I said, "No, that has never happened to me. The things have not." Yeah, it seems very unconventional. So yeah, congratulations on finding that.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, honestly, it's so easy. We rarely fight. We have a good time together. I see her. I light up as soon as I see her. I always want to be around her, and she always wants to be around me. And we're pretty much just hanging in the house all the time, and we're not sick of each other. So I think I found the one. The only thing I worry about is she'll get tired of me eventually. But so far so good.
Well, that's pretty cool. All right, to move on. Speaking of losing things, would you rather lose your ability to lie at all, like you can't lie at all, or lose all your ambition?
That's funny because I'm a brutally honest person and I also have no ambition anymore. I used to. I mean, I used to like be a hard worker and always was like grinding. But I think like during COVID, I lost that because it was like you were working so hard and all of a sudden you don't have to. And now you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, but I think there's something to be said about working for something or having a purpose and a cause. So because I'm brutally honest, the inability to lie, that would be my choice.
Okay, okay, respectable. Yeah, it makes financial sense. Man, this is a great answer so far. By the way, like
Thank
they're
you.
all pretty solid.
Well, I'm a cerebral dude, so I'll try not to get stumped by any of these.
You're doing pretty well, honestly. This next one is kind of open-ended. It's not even would you rather point. It's do you know the game Fuck, Marry, Kill? FMK.
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
that's what we're gonna do real quick.
Okay.
So, okay, Fuck, Marry, Kill: Jessica Rabbit, Lois Griffin, or Daphne from Scooby Doo.
Okay. Obviously, fuck Jessica Rabbit.
Okay,
Who do I want to kill, Lois or Daphne? No, I think I would rather marry her and kill Lois.
where you don't like Lois? Where's this coming from?
Well, you have to think about it. Who do you want to be around all of the time or have intimate relationships with? And yeah, those two seem to be the ones you want to be around more. So yeah, I mean, Lois would probably be a better partner in hindsight, but I'll stick with my answers.
Okay, I mean, Jessica Rabbit. I feel like that's a marryable one, but okay.
Well,
Daphne.
she seems like a bimbo, which would be perfect for the bedroom. Whereas Daphne, she solves problems and shit. She's like a smart one. So I think that would be a better partner to have.
I guess with Jessica Rabbit, she sounds like a bimbo, but she's not a bimbo. She's drawn that way. She looks like a. Oh
Yeah.
well, but no, all right. Respect it either way.
Well, I didn't kill her.
That's true. You killed Lois, but all right. The voice is enough. Okay, same thing. FMK, Fuck My Kill. God, Smurfette, Miss Piggy, or Leela from Futurama.
See, I'm not familiar with the third one.
Okay. Replacing her with Velma from Scooby Doo.
Okay, got it. So the second one, which one was that?
Uh, Smurfette, Miss Piggy, and
Yeah, kill Miss Piggy for sure.
okay, yeah.
I think I would fuck Smurfette and I would marry Velma.
I think that's the only way to answer that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. That one's not even even.
I mean, listen, you kill Miss Piggy, you make some bacon afterwards, you know?
That's free ham right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, we're on the same page with that. No argument at all.
Yep.
Real quick, who out of these fictional people would you want to be your father? Peter Griffin, Darth Vader, or Bane from Batman?
Oh, shit. I think Peter Griffin.
To be your dad?
Yeah. I mean, Bane is, he's quite sinister. I mean, he wanted to basically nuke Gotham City. And Darth Vader wasn't always bad. He was pretty much the badass of the universe. But hell, Luke Skywalker was struggling with that one, So I don't think I would want him as my father. I think he killed younglings, man. I don't know.
Look at Peter. Look at his son. Look at his two sons, Chris and Stu. Look what fruit that's bearing.
Yeah, I know, it's true, but yeah, I think you have your best chance with Peter for some reason.
Okay.
Unless you want to end up to be a psychopath, then the other ones would work.
Yeah, I mean, well, Stewie's a psychopath. I mean, well, I guess he's chilled out a bit over the seasons, but he was that whole domination thing. That was Stewie.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Okay, good one. good answers. Good answers anyway. Geesh, we are killing these. Okay, not to get political because it's not a political question, but would you rather lick all the salt off of Donald Trump's body or be really into scat?
Wait, sorry, scat, as you say?
Scat, sex, scat porn, whatever.
Okay, no, lick the salt. Try not to get orange bronzer in my mouth at the time, but I think that would be I don't do poop play. I just don't. It's just that's a hard no.
Sure. If you, what was I gonna say? Okay, but the thing with the second question is that you will be into it. You're just magically into it.
Oh, I mean, I can't imagine being into it. Like, I have 3 dogs and I'm cleaning up their dog shit all the time. And it could be pretty brutal at times. So if you swapped in the whole peeing thing, I might lend like a little more thought to doing it. But poop, I've heard stories too of famous people who are into that sort of thing. And even some of these sex workers were like, I know a girl, but I can't do it myself. Yeah. Wouldn't you like to know those people?
Yeah. No. There's this whole thing now of like yucking someone's yum, that was a weird phrase, but that's like a phrase now. That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Scat's gross. I don't know. Like it's poop.
Whatever. Yeah. I can't do it.
Poop. Yeah. Sorry to put Donald Trump into it, but he's a guy. He's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, good answer. I can't even argue it.
All right.
Oh, speaking of sex, would you rather get to have consensual sex with anyone you want, or dang it, okay, because you already have a wife. Find your one true soulmate, and you have to be vegetarian with them. So I guess for you, just like turning vegetarian, essentially.
Okay, so let's assume that we are single. Okay, let's roll back the clock a year ago. Okay, before all of this. Anyone I want consensual sex?
Consensual, anyone.
I'll pick that.
Really? Over the one true love one?
Yeah, I think I would do that. Because I think it's a little more interesting. And I waited a long time to find that one true love, so I know what it's like to not have it. So yeah, I'll stick with that answer.
Okay, that's a really brutally honest answer. Does the vegetarianism at all change anything for you? You don't care?
No, I dabbled in that for a while. I did vegan for about 8 months, and then I switched to the vegetarian, and then after a while it was, let's just go back to being a carnivore. Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's an honest answer. That's a freaking honest answer.
I mean, vegetarian's fine. I could actually live like that, because you can have eggs and you can have cheese, so it works. But yeah, I think I'll still go with that, because there's got to be some. I mean, look, listen, I've had my lot with porn stars, but like famous actors or actresses or singers, that could be intriguing.
I was going to ask that next. Yeah, like what if you don't have to go down the list or anything, but is there that one person you're like, I want to know? Is there one person that comes to mind in particular?
There's a few actually that I just find so striking. One, Kate Beckinsale. She's just, you look at her and you're like, whoa. But then you've got like Sydney Sweeney. She's, she's blonde and she's got those boobs, and you're just like, wow, that's
Yeah.
That's another one. And then there's other ones too, like Anna Kendrick. I find her to be so cute. You know what I mean? Like I just have a crush on her in some ways. So there's quite a few that, and then you can also get a sense of, would they be good, or would it be like just very like pedestrian sex, which, I think if you're into it, then it could be as good as you want it to be.
Man, pedestrian being just like something that's just kind of, I mean,
more,
I know the word pedestrian, but I'm asking you as a sex professional, essentially.
Yeah.
What? How is that even?
Like one position, and they're not into oral sex, that I would find to be very pedestrian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Me, my listeners, thank you for the definition a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't been around the block that much, especially compared to, so I was like, that's an honest question for me. Like, wait, what accounts? Okay. And nearing the end of this, but would you rather be able to read people's minds, but only when you're drunk, or be able to fly, but only when you're high?
Fly when I'm high, because I'd be fucking smoking weed all the time and just cruising everywhere. That is easy. I mean, reading minds, that's also good, but you're not really making the best decisions when you're drunk. So what will it work? But flying high, that sounds amazing.
It'd be cool. Wouldn't you like, I don't know if you're a paranoid high, but you might like, oh no, who's going to see me? Am I going to fall? That stuff? Nope.
Not worried about that at all.
Okay. I'm a drug professional. My bad.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Damn. All right. What do you think, in your opinion, is the biggest lie that like we tell ourselves as people?
That our existence matters. I mean, let's break it down, man. I mean, I don't know how much you've like gazed into the cosmos, but when that James Webb telescope like started showing all the like literally billions and billions of galaxies, we're not even talking stars, and we're one small planet on one small sun in this vast universe, and we think that what we do has relevance. Like, even let's say, okay, Jesus Christ is still relevant, and that was 2,000 years ago, but that's rare. You can't name maybe a few others, like Alexander the Great, perhaps, Genghis Khan, perhaps. But over time, let's say fast forward 10,000 years, if we're still here, will we even remember those people? I mean, maybe Jesus, because there's a whole religion around him, and it's a very popular religion. But I think that at the end of the day, and this always grounds me, is that people take themselves and all the shit going on around them so seriously. And it's like, don't, because we are so insignificant, and time has been going on for billions of years. So what we do really doesn't matter. What does matter? Being a good person, being a good human, being considerate, being respectful of others. And that's lost on a lot of people. Just have manners. So that is the biggest misconception I think a lot of people have.
Man, well, no, well said. I mean, I have a bit of things here and there. Personally have faith in my life and everything, but I agree, living like we are tiny, it's a speck. And ultimately, no matter what you believe, being kind to one another is something you should definitely take. So well said.
Thank you.
And shoot, we're going to end it there. I don't know personally, but I was like, okay, that wasn't as maybe it's because you're just so normal in how you approach the topics. Was like, okay, that wasn't as bad as that was going to be, or not as bad, but like disgusting as it could have been.
Do you have like trouble sometimes with people, or they're just not really answering well, or it takes forever?
It could take them a while, especially with sort of the raunchier ones, honestly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I even myself had to I limit what I put on the show. There's even some that I looked at, I said, not even that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
This goes out to an audience. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, you could have gotten a lot more raunchier and I wouldn't have even blinked. It wouldn't have even phased me.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
So I want this out.
Yeah. Rack the brain.
I don't need to. This opportunity doesn't come around a lot with people who can actually rock with these.
Exactly.
Okay, I got one right now that's pretty bad.
Okay.
Would you rather have a 8-man prison train run on you, or be the middleman in a human centipede?
Oh God. All right. That is a tough one.
Cute dogs, by the way.
Thank you. So that means I have to eat poop, right?
Oh yeah.
I guess rather than have an 8-man train run on me, I think I'll have to go with the human centipede one. Because that's both are scarring and would be in my psyche forever. But I just feel like that 8-person rape will leave much more of an impact. Whereas,
pun intended.
Yeah, the centipede, it'll be disgusting and all of that. But yeah, I don't think it would last as long. Great question. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was the best place to end it. You answered it like a champ, honestly. It's just, thank you, honestly, for answering that.
For sure.
Oh, my God. Okay, I was a little shocked. You said at the beginning, you said, oh, hygiene's such a big thing for me. And then I just want to intercut that with the human centipede answer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for wearing the questions with me and having some really good answers, too. And I encourage everyone to go check out your book. But the one I'd spotlight over to you, is anything you want to plug, tell listeners in general?
Yeah, I tell people if you want to check out where to buy the book, just go to my website, viclagina.com. There's a trailer on the site, which I shot before I vacated my studio after porn ended for me. The reason why I did it was I had 2 studios under my supervision during my porn career. And all I did was shoot movies that ended with a facial. And being a creative guy, I thought it would be a travesty if I didn't shoot something creative. So I wrote a script and I shot this project over 6 days. And while I was waiting for the editor to deliver a cut, which took forever, I told him to take his time. So it's partially my bad, but literally a year went by, still nothing. So that's when I finished the book. And when he was still taking a long time, I decided to take the gold from the footage we shot and create a really good trailer for the book that pretty much sums up what the book is. So go to the website, check out the trailer. There are porn star boobies, if that will motivate you to get there. But if you want to buy either a signed copy of the book, you can do it there. If you want to buy the print copy, it'll lead you to the Amazon link to it. And then, of course, the audiobook, which is on Spotify, Apple Books, and all of that. So please support this endeavor, even though it was really more about just getting the story out rather than making a booming business. But any interest or patronage is certainly appreciated.
Listeners, go check that out. Like you heard, there's boobs. Go. And let me know through comments, email, Instagram, if any questions you want to add to the list. Please rate the podcast wherever you find it, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It helps a lot. And everyone share this with your friends. Share this with your enemies. Everyone stay safe. Bye.